All right, so now that we know how to set up the brick for wedge impact, how in the heck do we actually do this, right? What are the drills we need to do to actually ingrain this feeling like the pros are doing? Well, I'm joined here with Casey Vansel, great player, one of the best wedge players I've met. He does this naturally because he is such a great wedge player. I'm gonna use him as an example, and then we're gonna walk through some of the drills I would do. First, why don't you show them a good impact position just pausing. And what you're gonna notice here, as he pauses, look how his hips are leading the way. Look how his weight is on his front foot. That's what we want to feel. We want to feel weight left, hips opening. That automatically pulls the hands forward to where they match this stick. And that's what you want to do. You want to pause at impact, match this stick. And you'll see that it de-lofts the club like it's almost going to compress it or pinch it against the turf. This is exactly what it should look like if you're doing it perfectly. Weight left, hips open, club shaft matching the stick. If you want to even over-exaggerate it and get a little too far ahead, that's fine because most players are too vertical with it. And when I'm down the line, notice when I'm looking at him, he's in his posture. If I pop up out of my posture, so say I raise up, what that's gonna do is that's gonna get his hips closer to his hands. His hands are gonna come out, they're gonna hit the stick here, and he's gonna have a tough time getting shaft lean. So if you pop up even more than that, stand straight up and down, look how now he can't get the hands leaning forward. The shaft is vertical. So go back in your posture, go to impact. Now the forearms are clearing under this stick pretty easily. He's able to get the hands leaning forward. And if he does this correctly, you're gonna see a nice square divot. So go ahead and set up there again. So I do one just like that. Do a pausing rep to get the feeling of where you wanna be at impact. And then you go back to address, waggle a couple times to get loose, and then go ahead and hit a shot and we'll take a look at the divot. There we go. Really clean shot. You can see that his hands swung under this stick, so you know he was low enough. And you can also see that the ball flighted down. So even though we can't see this with the naked eye on the camera, that ball was flighted down and gets a lot of spin on there. Now, the rough is a little tough, or the grass is a little tough. If that was on, say, bent grass, you would see a little more square divot. Where this Bermuda is a little rough, you're not always gonna see a perfectly square divot. So if the hands get high, you're gonna see the toe side of the divot start first. As the hands get lower and you miss this stick, you're gonna see pretty square divots. So if it's not perfect, don't worry. It's probably the grass if you're hitting off Bermuda. But if you're hitting off bent grass or fescue bluegrass, something up north, you should see pretty much perfectly square divots. So he's gonna feel that impact again. He's gonna go ahead and hit another one. There we go. Make sure you clean off your club face after every shot with a wedge. If you're gonna get it flighted down with a lot of spin, you can't really have much dirt on there. So we're just hitting a few shots here. If you wanna get that real performance though, you want that club like you eat off of every single one of them. There you can see perfectly square divot. I'll actually take a picture of it with my phone. Now most players, when you first do that, you're gonna think there's something wrong with this. The grass is messed up. I'm toe down on all of them no matter what I do. That's okay, it's completely normal. That just means you're starting to pop up. You're probably wanting to run into the stick. If you're missing the stick, you're probably barely missing it by hair. The exaggeration I would do here is to really get the club shaft lower. So set up with a normal club shaft at impact. And you can see how the angle of this shaft matches the angle of the stick. This is all set up to PGA Tour average impact. And you can see how he's getting the lean here. Body open, weight on the left. Now if I'm toe down, go ahead and show him the wrong way again, to where the hands raise up, I'd hit it in the stick. That's gonna be that cockeyed, sideways divot. It's just because the toe's in here first. If you're doing that, which you most likely are if you're a recreational player, I wanna do an exaggeration where I feel like this club shaft is like on the ground. I wanna feel like I'm way down here. You'll notice that's gonna get his hands closer to his body. You're gonna see a lot with tour players. You're gonna be more in his posture. Most people could get more in their posture. So I'm almost feeling like this thing is gonna be only heel hitting the turf. I'm gonna rehearse that impact, and then as he swings again, he's gonna go ahead and hit one here and try to exaggerate heel down. There you go, nice solid shot. And we'll see there, even when he exaggerated a ton, pretty daggone square with the divot. Most players are gonna have an almost impossible time getting the heel too far down, even better players. It's just a position that's very difficult to get your body into. It's easy to stand up out of your posture. You almost can't exaggerate this enough. So even if Casey sat here all day and tried to exaggerate heel down, heel down, heel down, hands low, shaft low, he's probably not gonna overdo it. That was as pure as you could hit one there. And I'll go ahead and take another picture with my phone. As you can see on that one, perfectly square divot. So when he's exaggerating there, it may look crazy in his rehearsal, but you really just couldn't exaggerate it too much. If you do two things, you're going to become a good wedge player. Number one, exaggerate the shaft getting as low as possible. And number two, exaggerate getting as much shaft lean as possible. And I guarantee you're going to start hitting it a lot more crisp. So let's go ahead and do one more. Yeah, and that one I really like. That's what I call a great miss, because he came down, he exaggerated a little too much shaft lean. That's more than recreational players are going to be able to exaggerate. I mean, Casey's already a good wedge player, so when he exaggerates getting too much shaft lean, he actually gets too much. But that's not going to happen for the majority of players. Shaft low, hands in front, get your weight to the left. I guarantee you're going to be a better wedge player.